What's good, y'all? Kayla Nicole here, and welcome back to another episode of the Pre-Game.
Okay, now, ladies.
Welcome to the Pre-Game.
So excited to have you guys here with me today. Unfortunately, it's just me on the couch. It's a solo episode, and I have to just be completely honest with you guys. I'm still trying to get used to this whole vibe of sitting here by myself and talking to you for an hour. So hold my hand through this episode with me virtually, please. But I have a fun one planned for you guys. It's still going to be our typical show. I'm still sipping a little beverage, as always. I've got my Whispering Angel today. I'm a very classy lady. We've got a glass of rosé, darling. Not getting too lit by myself. But I will tell you that if I open a bottle of Whispering Angel at home on a Wednesday night, Thursday night, I'm drinking the whole bottle. No shame in my game. I'm drinking the whole thing. It's light and it's easy. It goes down smooth and you sleep like a baby, let me tell you. But let's jump into our first quarter, shall we, girls? A little catch up and yap. I'm very excited to share with you all that I have decided to leave my recluse ways behind me. This past week, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I hung out with people probably like 4 out of the 7 days, which is crazy for me. And I know I'm an extrovert, but lately, I just have not been in the mood. I had people over my house for a little game night. I made a flyer and it said something along the lines of brunch and basketball. And I invited my girlfriend, some of the homies. And the reason for the gathering was I just needed human interaction. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the interaction that I get with people nowadays is through my podcast, which is now work. So I felt like I needed something that was just going to be like casual, fun, relaxed. We had a great time. We got very lit. We went through several bottles of tequila, but it was like my soul really needed that. And I think sometimes I forget too, like I am an extrovert, but I'm also an introvert that like needs to be recharged by being with people that I care about. So what is that? I don't know if that's like some like hybrid extra blend strain. That was a weed reference. But I needed that. I felt so refueled and ready for my week where I did 3 more extrovert activities. I went to the Kendrick Lamar SZA concert with my sisters. I had a friend of mine who gifted me literally 4 tickets to go to this concert. You guys, we had the time of our lives. Well, if you follow me, you know that I surprised my uncle, my stepdad, and my dad the other day to go to Laker game. This time I got to surprise my sisters and take them to the SZA Kendrick concert. So right now I'm really up right now, honestly. Like I'm probably the coolest family member, if not the best family member, the Beyonce of the family as always. But we had a great time. I love my sisters down. It was so cool to like see them in that environment of just like standing in the crowd, rapping along to songs, probably cussing more than my mom would have liked them to. But it was cute. We had a time. And I think that I left feeling like, you know, I'm the cool big sister. That makes me happy. And then the weekend came and I was like, oh, I'm not done being outside, y'all. I got my back scratched a little bit and I'm like, you know what? I like the way that this feels. I decided I was going to go to this oxtail cook-off. Shout out to the team that threw the oxtail cook-off. I had a time. The oxtail cook-off started at 2 p.m. I got home at 2 a.m. And that's the problem with an extrovert like me. It's like once you stick your toe in the water, all of a sudden you end up soaking wet. Because why did I have to stay out that long? It was unnecessary, uncalled for. I think I went to like 4 different spots after the actual oxtail cook-off. I went to a rooftop bar. I went to some kind of like dive bar. Don't ask me to give you names. Couldn't tell you. It was like 14 shots of tequila throughout the duration of the day. But once again, had a great time. And it just reminded me that like, you know what? Outside is fun. Outside is fun. Like, don't let these people lie to you. Also, bring it in, team. Bring it in real close. I'm going to whisper this in your ear. The men are outside. I repeat, the men are outside, ladies. Okay, we can't find a man inside. I'm sorry. He's not going to pop up on your couch. Maybe he's the maintenance guy. I don't know. But my man is not in my crib. I got to get out. And I met a few this weekend. Gave my number out to a few folks. Also, can I say, if I met you this weekend and you're listening to this, hi. Love you. Thank you so much for pouring into me. There were so many beautiful women that I met this weekend that were just like, hey, I follow you. You're so pretty. Hey, I follow you. I love your voice. Somebody told me that they loved my voice and not just like the sound of it, but like my voice and contribution to the podcast space. I almost cried. Half tequila, half I'm just an emo person. But I'm so thankful for interacting and getting to meet people in real life and being able to be reminded of the fact that like, I'm not just sitting in a room talking to the four walls. There's people on the other side of this mic that are listening. And I'm so appreciative of y'all. I'm so appreciative of y'all. And really, honestly, being outside this weekend reminded me of that. But also the men are outside. I want to land on that point. Ladies, we got to get outside, y'all. There is some fine men out there. Who knew? I wish somebody would have told me that this is where all the men are. This one rooftop, I'm going to get the name for y'all. Next episode, I got you. Remind me in the comments. I'm going to tell you this rooftop that we were at because, girl, the way that I felt like, okay, if I give my number out anymore, it's going to be ridiculous. Like, this is getting out of hand. And I typically am not the give the number out girly in the club, but I was giving it out, honey. Anybody, it's like, get your number. Who wants a number? I got one for you. Oh, also, wait, okay, this is my last little catch up and yap note. I learned this trick from my friend Patrick this weekend because I was like, bro, I'm getting all these texts and I don't know who these people are. And I can't keep saying like, who is this? You know, it just feels impersonal and like, oh girl, you was out here giving your number out to everyone, which I was, but that's none of their business. So here's a little hack, ladies. When you're out and you're feeling flirty and you're single, ready to mingle, the key to remembering who you are texting and giving your number out to, when you exchange your number with this very fine gentleman, gentle lady, whatever you're into, I want you to take your phone and you're going to take a selfie with this person. You then send that selfie, make sure you look good, send that selfie into the text thread. So when the person texts you the next day saying like, oh, so nice to meet you, you don't have to have this awkward back and forth of like, who the hell is this? You know who it is because you can see the picture and you're like, oh my gosh, babe, it was so great to see you. Loved that green shirt you were wearing. Let's do lunch soon. Mm-hmm. That's a little tip. Thank you, Patrick. Everyone say, thank you, Patrick. Okay, y'all. Well, I think that's pretty much a good catch up and yap. That sums up my week. I've had a time. In summary, great time outside. Everybody needs to try it. The sun is out and the men are outside. Their shorts are short and they're spending money, honey. Okay. Let's jump into the second quarter where we discuss a little bit of pop culture with a splash of commentary. I've been calling this segment The Mix, and it's still The Mix. We're only going to do one topic today because I really want us to get into our third quarter. We have some great call-ins from our listeners that I want to get to. But also, we need to touch on this. We have got to touch on this subject. I just actually checked my phone before I got here today, and there was this amazing headline that I saw on Instagram that read a little something like this. Rhode, the brand founded by Hailey Bieber, has been acquired by Elf Beauty for $1 billion. You heard that correctly, $1 billion. $1 billion. Becoming the industry's biggest deal in years. And all I have to say is, quick, someone hurry, grab Justin Bieber's phone before he says anything crazy to ruin this moment for our girl Hailey. You guys, the real headline in all of this was, and I know that you had to catch this unless you were sleeping under a rock. This past week, Hailey also did something incredible with her career. She landed the cover of Vogue, which is probably like, I don't know, probably one of the most amazing moments in this young woman's career. By the way, if you don't know who Hailey Bieber is, started off in the industry as a model, influencer, has now grown into a full-time beauty business mogul. You have to give that lady her flowers. She has just sold her business for $1 billion. But this is the real story for me. And I think I do a really good job of minding my business, right? Especially only minding the business that pays me. I would have been happy to sit out of the trouble in paradise narrative that the media is pushing when it comes to the Biebers, right? They're picking them apart. Every time we see them in public, we have to analyze how he's looking at them and how he touches her and how he says this, and Justin Bieber's in trouble and Hailey Bieber doesn't love him and they hate each other, blah, blah, blah. I would have been so happy to sit out of that conversation because, quite frankly, we don't know their relationship from a can of paint. We don't know what's going on behind those four walls. truly it's none of our business. But Mr. Justin Bieber decided to make it our business. Mr. Bieber went on Instagram and told his 294 million followers, again, imagine 294 people, 294 million people in one room, and you're telling them this ridiculous secret that nobody ever needed to know. So Hailey lands the cover of Vogue. The cover is released. Everyone's like, oh, Hailey, you're so great. We love you, Hailey. Go, Hailey. Justin Bieber takes to his Instagram and says this. Yo, literally, yo. This reminds me when Hailey and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know, so mean. For some reason, because I felt so disrespected, I thought, I gotta get even. Also, Justin Bieber probably doesn't sound like this, but this is how ridiculous this caption is, so we have to do this voice. We have to. I thought I gotta get even. I think as we mature, we realize that we're not helping anything by getting even. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. So, baby, you already know, but forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover because clearly I was sadly mistaken. Yeah, what? No one's clapping for that, Justin. Why? What is it about the male urge? The desire to get on Beyonce's internet and embarrass your wife, your girlfriend, your partner of 38,000 years that you never married. What is it about the male urge to do that? It reminds me of the time where you get on Instagram and you see, I don't know, a happy anniversary post, right? And the guy's like, yo, baby, we've been together for 15 years. I put you through hell, baby, but you stayed down. What the fuck? Or it's like the happy birthday post and the guy's like, I ain't never been shit, never will be, but thanks for loving me anyways, baby. Y'all don't know the half of what I put this girl through, but she stayed with me. Why do y'all want to tell us that part? Why do y'all want to tell us that part? Why? We don't need to know. We don't care. And quite frankly, now I'm gonna start digging. Now I'm nosy because now I gotta see the timeline. Okay, wait. Well, when that's crazy because there was a time 6 months. Remember that girl where she wasn't posting him, right? Remember that time? You know what I'm saying? Now you guys are bringing us into a world that really just doesn't involve us. So to the Justin Biebers, to the men of the world, my little bit of advice for you guys today is shut up. Just shut up. My mother always taught me this very important lesson. I'm sure a lot of parents did actually. If you have nothing nice to say, do not say anything at all, especially not in this incredible moment where this woman should be celebrated. We should be literally screaming from the heavens how incredible Hailey Bieber is because she has made a name for herself after you try to attach her to this man for her entire existence. She has hustled her way into being her own entity. And here you come with this weird story. It's like, who needs enemies when you have a husband? Am I right? Granted, he goes back and he changes the caption. So we forgive you, Justin. We all make mistakes, but God damn it. Go put it in a song or something. You know what I mean? Make it a little less weird for us. That was so weird. Unprovoked and weird. Excuse me, I have a question. Here in the back of the class, teacher, call on me. Can you list out the hard times in detail? In fact, because now I want to know why she stayed, how she stayed. How'd y'all get through it? You know what? That's a good point. I'm going to start commenting on y'all posts. I'm going to do it because it's genuine curiosity. When you put all this information that's really none of my business, I'm just going to start posing questions back. When you say that you've never been shit, but she loved you anyways, what was the never been shit part? And how did you get out from that? It could be a learning moment for us all. That's a good point. I love that. Yeah, moral of the story, the men must be stopped, okay? I saw somebody in the comments say, may that kind of love never find me. Woof! Woo! But shout out to Hailey. $1 billion. That's $1 billion more than I got. Cheers, Hailey. Refill my wine. I'm telling you, the rosé will creep up on you every time. It's just juice. This is not real liquor in here, y'all. It's grapes. This is what we drink on communion on Sunday. I love orange wine. I have a friend, he's bougie and he'll like this, but he's just this well-traveled, just creme de la creme. I know wine. He thinks he's a sommelier, honestly, and he only drinks wine that's as old as our grandparents. And he gets to dinner one day and I'm like, hi, to the server. Hi, can I try this orange wine here on the menu? He looks at me and he says, excuse me? And I'm like, the orange wine. He's like, what year does that say? I'm like, I don't know, probably like 2022. Deep sigh, sits back and he's like, what are we, poor? So apparently orange wine is for poor people. And I guess I'm poor because I love me some orange wine. And granted, yeah, it's not 90 years old, but it's good. All right, y'all, let's transition into the third quarter of the pregame. This quarter is called Ask the Chat. But today it's really special because I actually asked our listeners to send in some voicemails instead of just sending in questions, which means that, yeah, on the other side of this, we're gonna hear them live for the first time. I'm gonna answer their questions. I told them that nothing is off limits. They can call in with some secrets, some tea, maybe some need for advice. So, y'all, hold my hand during this because I'm a little nervous, but I think it's going to be really fun. We have our first caller on the line. Thank you so much for calling in. How can I help you, sweetie?
Hi, Kayla. My name is, do you have a surname? I'm not going to say it because I don't know how you're going to do this. But just want to say that I love all your content. I've been following you for a long time now. And I love all your gym content and just the way you're just yourself. And I love that. And which is why I continue to follow you. And you're also a server.
Oh,
yes, girl. So I started dealing with a man, unfortunately, and
right, unfortunately.
we met on social media, and we were talking every day, FaceTiming every day, all that type of stuff. And then we finally met in person, and I really liked him. His vibe was great. I really did like him, and I don't like men. I truly don't. It takes me a long time to like men. I don't ever like men.
I don't like men either.
But once we left, for whatever reason, they tell you search and you will find. My mom has always said that. I fucking go and search. I look on Facebook. I find his mom. I find his daddy.
Oh.
I find his sisters. I find his brother. And then I found him. I went to his pages, his Facebook page, and I found two girls. One a while ago and another one from 2 years ago. I just dig and I find this girl. And I go down and there's a picture of them too, and like videos when they went like trips to Mexico, blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, this fucking bitch. Meanwhile, this has been going on for 2 years, not us like communicating, but he's been trying to get at me on social media for 2 years, very persistent. And finally, after 2 years, I was like, okay, we can start chatting. You're persistent. I don't think he's unattractive. I was just dealing with someone at the time, and unfortunately, it wasn't even a real relationship. That was boom, some dumb shit I did too. But like, I'm working on it. I'm 25, by the way. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found he had a girlfriend, and he still has this girlfriend, and I don't understand because he FaceTimes me all the time. He called me all the time, text, like all this shit, and I'm like, when I go to her page, she'll post him on like her stories, and he will make it look like he's alone all the time. And I called him out on it. He said something to me, and I was like, "Do your girlfriend know you talk to me like this?" And I sent voice notes. So I sent a voice note, and he literally usually always replies like quickly, but this motherfucker replied the next day and was like, "Say what?" Keep in mind, this man is a grown ass man.
Oh.
He's in his late 30s, and
okay.
It's like they never stop. I wanted to DM the girl, but I feel like that's very, I don't know. Part of me feels like she knows, not about just me, but just like that he's a cheater. He's kind of known, and I just think that she probably knows. So, and she just like deal with it because maybe what he has, but it looks like she has her own shit going on too. I don't really know. I was gonna DM her, and I'm like, I wouldn't hate if a girl DM me. And then I wanted to like go off on his ass. We haven't spoken. It's like he's scared to reach out again. So I don't know what I should do. And then, like, all my pictures on Instagram, he still, like, swipes stuff, he'll like them. And honestly, yeah, I did have sex with him. Like I said, I liked him.
Shit.
I did. He did all the right things, said the right things, and called my ass. He did. He made me feel good. Like, it's really not my fault.
First of all, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for being our first caller. Thank you for your transparency, girl. Oh, girl, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, though. The amount of digging references that you just dropped, Bob the Builder, lay off. Okay, what? I understand. We all have to protect ourselves. And this is zero judgment as a girly who, you know, I've had my days of digging. I've gone through that man's phone. But like you said, if you go digging for dirt, you will get dirty every time. I think that there is a fine line between trying to protect yourself and turning into a detective. Okay, all that time that you're spending trying to find out who his cousin and his auntie and his sister and his friend's best friend's sister's cousin is, you could have joined the CIA. This is not the man for you if you have to dig that much. Okay, this is like Holes Part 2. I'm tired of digging, Grandpa. Too damn bad. Lay off the digging, first of all. Again, zero judgment. By the way, I'm a Scorpio, y'all, so if you come to me for advice, I'm gonna give it to you straight, right? So I say all of these things with love. Maybe ease up on the digging. We're gonna start there. Number 2, hold on, I have some notes because that was a little lengthy one. I think the other alarming note in your call, sister, was you found out that he had a girlfriend, right? And you went to him and then said, you sent him a voice note. And you said that's how you communicate with him, which for me, initially, that just says red flag. Why can't you put things in writing to this person that you're interested in and dating? I feel the same way about people that only communicate through Snapchat with people that they're dating. Like, why do you need to erase all of my messages to you, right? Okay, so I think that that's a bit of a red flag that you guys only communicate through voice messages. But you said that you told him, does your girl know that you talk to me this much or like this? And there was no response. So I think we have to be honest with ourselves that he's aware that you now know he has a girlfriend because his communication has changed. So I think you have to hold yourself accountable. It sucks that you did get intimate with this man. It sounds like you might have actually liked him. That's never fun. But if another man having a girlfriend is a deal breaker for you, which for most it is, it's understandable. But I think the line that you need to draw in the sand is not with the girlfriend. I think it is with him. I think you need to let him know through text message, not through voice notes. Put it in writing. I was interested in you. I no longer am. Please stop communicating with me in all capacities, which means stop liking my things on Instagram, stop swiping up, stop sending me heart eyes. Or here's the caveat, I will have to resort to my own vices, which means I'm gonna have to let your girl know. And probably, I'm gonna bet that this man is gonna be terrified of that. You're gonna scare him right on off. And if he doesn't shut up, then block him. This isn't your guy. If you have to dig this much to find out dirt on your man, I'm telling you right now, it's not worth the headache. There's no longevity in this. There's no future in that. And imagine like, okay, he leaves the girlfriend and still deals with you. The trust and the foundation of your guys' relationship is already going to be built on very, very fragile ground. Do you know what I mean? Like this guy has shown you his character. He's shown you that he's not meant to be trusted. You hooked up with him. It's not a big deal. Don't tell anybody else. Okay, you told me, but don't tell anybody else that you did that. It's okay. It's okay. We can keep it between you and I. But move on. There's so many fish in the sea. And I know people think that that's so cliche, but there really is. I told you guys earlier, you need to go outside. It's summertime. There's men out there. They're spending money. This guy is a flop. Also, again, stop all the digging. I need my sisters in Christ. We got to stop with all the digging, y'all. If a man drives you so insane that you have to find out Facebook, I don't even know my Facebook login. And you said you're 25, so I know you're not on Facebook for real. You try to find out his MySpace, top 8. That's crazy. 30-something. So she was trying to figure out her demographic. You're right. You know what? Okay, wait, that's a good point because you did say that he's in his late 30s, which means he's probably on Facebook with the rest of our uncles. So I get it. You was doing your market research, which also brings me back to my original point that you need to go work for the CIA. Girl, if you could find this out, imagine what you could do for the government. Give her a badge. Give her a badge and some stripes of honor. Because, girl, you're good. Okay, let's go to our next caller. That was so good. Thank you again for calling in. And again, you guys, judgment-free zone. I say all of this with love. Hold on, before I move on from this, because this was important to me. She asked, should I DM the woman and let her know? And we need to break this down. We need to break this down because this is definitely something that happens solely with women. I don't think the men are out here DMing other men and being like, hey, bro, I just wanted to let you know, like, you're shorty over there. They're not doing that. So I don't know when it became some sort of like girl code, this whole come to you as a woman thing. Because like I said, the issue that you have is with the man that you know. You don't have an issue with this woman. And you also made the point, you think that she knows, but she chooses to stay. That's really none of your business either. And it's not your job to take on the responsibility of now bursting her bubble of delusion. If she's choosing to live in delusion, you just let the sister do it. I think women have to relieve themselves of this pressure to have this come to me as a woman conversation. Don't come to me as shit, matter of fact. Don't nobody come to me as nothing. I'm not going through phones. I'm not looking at your DMs. I fully and wholeheartedly believe anything that I'm supposed to find out about my partner, this is my new mentality, by the way, anything that I'm supposed to find out about my partner will be brought to my attention. I pray about that. I meditate on that, okay? I have God in the universe working for me that anything that I'm supposed to know, I will find out. I don't need you and your homegirls and all y'all in my DM, hey girl, I just want to let you know that I saw your man out and he was talking to so-and-so. I don't, please, keep it. Take it to confessionals, or if you're Catholic, bring it to, what is it called when you're Catholic? You got to go talk to the priest. Take it to there. Take it to Jesus. Take it to your friend in the group chat. Do not bring it to me. Don't come to me as nothing. I got personal. But seriously, I don't think she wants to know this. I don't think she wants to know this. Now, if he doesn't leave you alone, girl, then I give you full rights to go ahead and just let her know, hey, can you please tighten the leash on that pit bull you got? Because he's on my nerves. Hit her with that line. That's a good bar. It's vague. You don't really know what's going on, but she'll be aware that somebody is being annoyed by her man. Honestly, that was such a good voice note. I'm glad that the girls aren't afraid to call in. This makes me excited. Let's hear our second caller. Who is next? Okay, our next caller is Allison. Let's take a listen.
Hey Kayla, my name is Allison. I'm from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Love you. I've been following you since 2018, 2019, and I love the podcast. So just want to say that. But anyways, I am hung up on my ex. I can't seem to get over him. It's been 3 years. We broke up 3 years ago. About a year after the breakup, I was like, okay, things are getting better. I thought I was over him. But then he started dating this girl, and she's a bad bitch. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I miss him. I always am stalking his Instagram from my burner because I'm blocked, of course. Always just checking up on him and his new girl. And I mean, they've been together, probably like 2 years by now. And I just still can't get over him. So if you have any advice, I'm 22. He's 24
baby.
right now. So I just really need advice. Thank you.
My goodness. Allison, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me for so long. You're 22. You are a baby, girl. You have so much life to live and many lessons to learn. I think at your age, 22, I was ironically feeling the same way. I think that I had, if not already gone through a breakup, or was about to go through a breakup. And I promise you was feeling the same exact way that you did. What sticks out to me though, and was an important lesson that I had to learn, you have to take accountability for the role that you play in your own suffering. So if you've been broken up from this guy for 3 years, but you're still stalking that page, and you're still looking at the pictures, and you're still going through your old text in your phone that you haven't deleted from him, and you're still watching those vacation videos on loop, you're doing more damage than good. It's kind of like when you have a wound, you have a huge gash in your leg and you're like, I'm bleeding. And they stitch it up and they put a bandage on top. And then when nobody's around, you take the bandage off and you get to picking, right? You get to picking at the wound, you get to picking at the scab and it starts bleeding again. You're like, oh my God, wait, why am I bleeding again? So then you put the bandage back on top, you let it heal. And then one day you're feeling anxious, then you rip the bandage off again and you get to picking it. There's no way that you can possibly heal if you don't give yourself the space and the time. And I think we make the mistake of thinking that time heals all wounds, but what really heals those wounds is what you do with your time within that time. So yeah, it's been 3 years, but you haven't given yourself the space or the grace to let this person go, to release this person from your life, from your memory. And I know that that's hard, but things that have helped me in the past, if I could give you some advice, sometimes you got to go to therapy. Sometimes it's not enough to just handle these types of heartbreaks on our own. Sometimes it's not enough talking to our friends and our moms and our pastors. Sometimes you need someone to step in and kind of break down why you think the way that you do, why you feel the way that you do, and to help you paint a clearer picture of, okay, how can I navigate this space and how can I get out of this hurdle? How can I get out of this hump? Like without knowing too much about you and your relationship, I can't give you too much specific advice, but I will say for me, therapy was life-changing and it can really help you better understand why heartache like this hurts so badly. But I don't want you to feel alone. And I want you to understand that there are so many women in this world, especially at your very ripe and tender age, that think that this is their last love. Like, this is it. I'm never gonna love again. And he's so happy and I'm so sad and she's so hot and I'm alone. I promise you, you have not experienced every love that you will ever experience in this life. I do hope that your next love is your last love, but maybe it's not. Maybe it'll just be a really great, good love. And then you'll move on to the next one and the next one and the next one after that. We don't know the future, but I do hope that you take this moment right now and do the work so that you can finally close this chapter and move on with your life in the same way that he has been able to. Also want to say that it's really beautiful that you have the capacity to acknowledge that his new girl is hot, right? And I think as a woman, something that we struggle with is admitting that the new girl might be popping. She might be the shit. She might be really hot, and there's no problem in admitting that. The way that I like to view this, it's a bit of a sports analogy. This is the pregame. We do talk about sports on occasion. But the way that I like to view this, if you are, say you play basketball and you're in the playoffs and you lose in the second round, and the team that you lose to goes on to win the championship. All I'm saying is, if I'm gonna lose, I wanna lose to the best team now. I want you to move on and go do your big one. Make me look good, right? It's so much worse if the guy that you loved and you dated for so long and you're so heartbroken over goes and starts and dates a dud. Now you look stupid, he looks stupid, we all look stupid. Everybody's questioning your taste. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? So kudos to you for acknowledging she's hot. Give her her flowers. And the reality is, them over there, whatever they're doing is their business. They deserve love as much as you do. That's so important. The love that she's now getting, or so we think we're getting, I don't even know if she's in love. Maybe she is, maybe she's not. But the love that she has in her life right now from this man that you still care about is a part of their story now. And the part of your story now is to focus on you, to rebuild you, to heal you, to love on you, to find new ways to love on yourself, find new things that you love about yourself, and bring back that light in your own life. Romanticize your own life. Yes, you're alone right now, but I mean, I promise you, I'm not psychic or anything, but it won't be forever. But you have to do the work though, and you have to really pour into yourself, because if you want to attract this next partner, this dream partner that you have to do the work. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's really what the season of life that I'm in right now too, is doing the work so that I can attract what it is that I desire. So I'm going to love me in all the ways so that I can teach others how to love me. So I would encourage you to do that in your free time instead of making fake pages. Sister, hold my hand when I say this. Delete that fake page. Delete it. You are just hurting yourself. You're not helping yourself. You are ruminating over something that is no longer existing in your life. Let it go. let it go, girl. Allison, thank you so much for calling in. That was a good one. Next up, we have Rochelle. Rochelle, my girl, what's up, honey?
Hi, Kayla. My name is Rochelle, and I'm from California. My boyfriend is white, and I am black. One of his friends were caught saying the N-word, and I have let him know about how crazy that was and how it was absolutely unacceptable. And he agreed and was, in unison with me, and we're long distance. So I'm not really with him every single day, knowing what he does on the daily. But it was definitely a red flag for me that his friend said the N-word, knowing that we were dating. So fast forward to when we finally meet up again, I just have this sinking feeling like, is it an isolated incident that his friend said the N-word and he just somehow is this like perfect angel? And so I go through his phone and I get the messages and I, saw the N-word in the search tab on iMessage, and lo and behold, he said it a couple times, and I know I should be absolutely outraged, which I am, and we're both 19 and 20 to put it into perspective. And I'm just like, is there a chance where we can fix this, or is this completely over?
Wow.
Any advice would be amazing, and thank you so much for listening.
Rochelle, first of all, I'm glad that you reached out, because this is certainly something that is serious and you deserve clarity without a doubt. Being in an interracial relationship, though, requires a very deep level of mutual respect. I think it requires two partners that have cultural awareness. And ultimately, it needs to be a place of emotional safety. So if your partner, you're Black, and your partner happens to be white and is casually using the N-word with his friends, I think that that's not just a red flag, that's a siren. That's definitely a means to be concerned and worried. So I understand where you're coming from. That word is heavy. In our community, it carries a lot of trauma, a lot of history, a lot of pain. So I think for you to see him using it so flippantly, especially as someone who is dating a Black woman, it shows one of two things: either a lack of understanding of the magnitude of the word, or just a general lack of respect. And either way, it definitely needs to be addressed. I can't tell you whether or not you should just cut this man off and, cut your ties and move on, especially if there is feelings and time and emotion invested. But I do think that you have every right to sit him down and have a very hard conversation before you make any long-term decisions. I think that he owes you an explanation on the things that you have seen in his phone. And I can tell you off the jump, if you start the conversation off with saying, I went through your phone, any person is going to be defensive a bit, because you have violated someone's privacy, you've violated trust. And from experience, as a woman that has gone through a man's phone, no matter what you found in that phone, that man might try to lead with the fact that, okay, but what about what you did, right? They try to make that the focus. So if that happens, I will hope that you will just respectfully take that nod and walk away from the conversation, because that shows you that he's mentally not in the right place to even have this very adult conversation with you. But if he is open to continuing the conversation, I think that you need to ask him some really hard questions, like, why do you feel comfortable using the N-word? Do you understand how harmful and how hurtful that word is? If you don't use that word with me, why do you feel comfortable using that word with your friends? Especially when you are in a relationship with a Black woman. And I think that his response will really tell you everything that you need to know, because he could either be really open and apologetic, He could be willing to learn and understand where you're coming from, or he could be defensive and dismissive and deflect the whole conversation. So it really comes down to how he responds to this tough conversation that you're going to have for him. And at the end of the day, like, love is love is love is love is love, right? We want to say that all the time, but love is not just about like chemistry. It's about freaking accountability. And if he can't meet you where you're at, if he is not willing to ask himself these hard questions too, then I just don't know if this is someone that you could feel safe with building long term. I also think, again, it's ironic that another girlie has called in and said, hey, I went through that phone. And not only did you just go through that phone, you used a keyword and you searched it like a search engine. Inspector Gadget, y'all are good. Y'all are good, and I'm impressed. Obviously, interracial relationships can work, but it's only going to work when there's a mutual respect, when there's like a level of cultural humanity. You know, you guys have to be on the same page, and it sounds like you guys are not. And if he is willing to recommit to learning about you and your culture and your history and is apologetic, then I fully support you, forgiving this person. People make mistakes, and sometimes tough conversations like this will open their eyes to their ignorance and will allow them to be accountable and to, turn over a new leaf and be better people. That is the beauty of an interracial relationship, right? Like, we can bridge those gaps, and the product of that can be, better human beings. But at the end of the day, really, honestly, girl, it's about protecting your peace too, and your culture and your dignity. And so I hope that you don't ever feel like you have to shrink those things to keep somebody around. But I feel for you, and I really appreciate you calling in. And if you do talk to him and you have this hard conversation, I would love if you could call back and update us. My hope is that it will end well and you will have a thriving, healthy, safe relationship as a result of it. Okay, Rochelle, thank you so much for that call. Hope to hear from you soon. Next up, we have Elizabeth.
Okay. Hi, Kayla. I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of yours. I am a Black girl. I'm like 22. When I was younger, I guess like a teenager, that's when I started to follow you. And I generally used to only follow Caucasian influencers. I wasn't very confident in my skin. I didn't like how I looked. I was just not a fan of myself. And I know people say like, don't look up to other people for yourself to be confident or whatever, but you generally made me love my own skin and be confident being a Black woman. I literally copy your hairstyles. I'd get into fitness, like everything. So basically my question for you, or my little dilemma, what would you say to people who struggle with self-confidence or just struggle in their own body? Like, how does one be as confident as Kayla Nicole? Love you. Keep being you.
Oh my goodness. So good. Thank you, Elizabeth, for calling in. Love you. First things first, I think despite what you may see on the internet, I too struggle with self-confidence and want to gently remind you that what you see of my life is a highlight reel. And that goes for everyone that's on the internet, right? Like, we post our best, happiest, most confident moments at all times. We don't always post those times where we're feeling insecure, where we're crying ourselves to sleep, where we've gained a couple of pounds and a couple of inches and don't fit those jeans and we're not feeling our best. We don't post those moments. So I just want you to know that you're not alone in that feeling, and that I too have my days where I struggle with my own self-confidence. But I want to thank you for your honesty, and just want to encourage and remind you that, that feeling is super, super real. And, a lot of us have been there, especially I think as Black women in society, especially today. Like, we're constantly having to defend ourselves. I was talking to my friend the other day about Angel Reese. So if you guys followed the WNBA, a Black woman in the NBA who was constantly at the center of conversation of, oh, she's just too confident. She's too bold. She's too loud. She's too arrogant. And I think that that is something that is so relatable, just being a Black woman in the world today. I think society is constantly trying to tell us like just who to be, what we're worth and where we belong. And you add in the media and outside voices, and that becomes even heavier. I think for me personally, I've definitely had my moments where I've doubted myself, where I've questioned, my worth and my value. And, oh, am I too confident? Am I too aggressive? Am I too loud? Am I too much? And I've had people kind of pick me apart online. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't a real person with real feelings. And for a while, I did allow those voices to, get louder and louder. And eventually they started to drown out my own internal voice. And I had to learn that ultimately nobody gets to define me but me. And you might not be dealing with the same things to the same extent or capacity, but I think that we all struggle with that little voice in our head that will kind of remind us on occasion that, oh, maybe you're not enough. Maybe you're not doing enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not successful enough. But I think the first step is acknowledging that that voice is there, right? Acknowledging that that voice is there, because once you acknowledge it, you can start talking back to it. And that's where the power comes in. I think a common misconception is that confidence means that you're never insecure. But that's wrong. Confidence means that I am insecure, but I choose to love myself anyways. And even though I have these moments where I don't feel like I'm enough, it's the confidence that I choose to tap into to remind myself that, no, girl, you're not just enough, you're more than enough. Tenfold, you're more than enough. Okay, so ultimately, I want you to work on creating your own definition of beauty, your own definition of success, your own definition of the things that you actually value in this life, and standing on that even when your confidence shakes and wavers. I know that there's been many times where I've had to rebuild my confidence from the inside out. And, whether that meant I'm going to tap into therapy, I'm going to, be more intentional with my fitness routine and really take care of me, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally as well. I think also changing the way that I talked to myself has always helped me in my darkest moments. Positive self-talk and reconditioning your mind to view yourself in the way that you really should view yourself, which is a beautiful, strong Black woman who is intelligent from this voicemail. I'm just going to say, you sound like a smart girly. You sound like someone who is open to doing the work. And oftentimes that's the most important first step is you're open to the fact that, hey, I don't like how I feel in this moment and I want to be better. That's the biggest key in really changing your life and shifting your lens and being a better version of yourself. I also think something for me that really boosted my confidence was just practicing almost ruminating on mantras. So if it's for example, a mantra that I really personally love, I'm not here to be palatable, I'm here to be powerful. And it's on a sticky note and it's on my mirror and I see it every morning because it's a reminder that I don't have to shrink myself. I don't have to change myself. I don't have to become this different version of myself to be more digestible for everybody else. I'm a Black woman and that might be perceived as aggressive or overly confident or too loud, but that's who I am. And I'm going to own that and I'm going to stand in that because when I do that, I have women like you that feel seen and understood. And that makes me feel so confident. So thank you for calling in because honestly, you feeling safe enough to call me and tell me, your struggles makes me feel like I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing. And I don't think that I'm any more special than you. So if I can encourage you, you standing in your power can encourage the next woman too. I want you to remember that. Wow, the call-ins were really good. We might have to continue this even on non-solo episodes with our guest, y'all. Thank you so much for calling in. That was such a treat. It's also, I don't even know the word to describe what it feels like to have a voice in here talking to me so I don't feel like such a crazy person for this hour of just rambling with y'all. But thank you so much for calling in. We're definitely going to make that a staple in the show. I really appreciate your guys' honesty and transparency and feeling like this is a safe space. I deeply appreciate you honestly even caring about my advice also, because I mean, who am I? I'm not Deepak Chopra or anything. This is what my intention was when I created this podcast. I definitely wanted it to be fun. I definitely wanted it to be lighthearted, something that you could turn on before, your Friday night, Saturday night antics. But I also, deeply wanted you guys to be able to walk away with some good nuggets and motivation and inspiration, and not just feeling like you came here, listened, and talked shit. You know what I mean? I wanted you to grow a little bit too. I'm happy and I'm thankful. This is working out great, guys. But let's transition into the fourth quarter, the close of our show, the game plan, and it actually complements Elizabeth's call on self-confidence. I kind of briefly touched on this, but I wanted to leave you guys with 2 action items to really help boost your self-confidence, because it's something that we talk about so much. And everyone's always like, oh no, love yourself. Self-confidence starts with you. But then it's like, okay, but girl, now when I go home and I'm feeling sad and down and out, what do I actually need to do? So I'm going to leave you with 2 action items. I would love for you to implement this into your week, into your month, into your year. I'm always hoping that the game plan is just going to make you feel better. Okay. So first thing on the game plan, I'm encouraging you all to curate your inner voice on purpose. So what does this mean? What does this look like? Every morning, I want you to either say 3 affirmations, write 3 affirmations, rap 3 affirmations. I don't know, whatever tickles your fancy. But I want you to intentionally create 3 affirmations that will encourage you for that day or for that week. I want you to say them out loud. I want you to write them down, which is a very, very, very important step. Write them down. And if you're feeling frisky, put them on your mirror so that you're reminded of them when you brush your teeth, when you wash your hands. Because what people don't understand, there is so much power in the things that we say and hear constantly. So like if you've spent years and years internalizing negative self-talk and criticism, you don't realize that you need to rewire your brain on how you see yourself, on how you see your future, and how you talk to yourself. And something so small as seeing a sticky note on your calendar that says, I am beautiful, and you just happen to read that, 6 times a day, because I'm hoping that you're peeing and pooping that many times because our bowels are important. Hello? But you see that so many times a day and you're reminded, okay, wait, wow, I am beautiful. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I believe that. And then wow, your subconscious is now repeating that to you in your quiet moments where you don't feel so beautiful. We're kind of like robots, y'all. Honestly, you need to reprogram and reboot. And I want you to start with reciting 3 affirmations. So here's 3 that you can use. I am worthy of love and respect. Very simple and straight to the point, because you are absolutely deserving of that. My voice matters, and I use it boldly. For all my girlies that are struggling with their confidence and feeling like, oh, maybe I should just tone it down a little bit. Your voice matters, and you use it boldly, okay? And lastly, I don't shrink for anyone. I take up space. That's a personal favorite of mine that is in my journal currently. I say it constantly. I don't shrink for anyone. I take up space. I speak my truth. I tell my story. And if it offends you, it's not my problem. Because my intent is never to be offensive. My intent is to share love and share light, share purpose, progress, growth. So yes, honey, those are my 3 affirmations for the game plan this week. Secondly, I want you to start keeping the promises you make to yourself. And this is something that I struggle with so much. Hello. Y'all always love to remind me, like, I'm such a workout girly and I'm so inspiring. But can I just be honest with y'all? I don't really be sticking to the program. I don't stick to the program. Y'all see the results in, if you talk to my trainer and if you looked at my notepad that I write, like, okay, this week we're going to do carb cycling. I fall off. And that happens. I give myself grace. I want us together to keep the promises that we make to ourselves, even the small ones. So if that means that you are going to make a really small commitment, like this week, I'm going to walk for 15 minutes a day. I'm going to journal before bed. I'm not going to text back that toxic man that is just a situationship that really is doing nothing for my life. I want you to follow through no matter what. Because I think ultimately confidence really, like, and we talked about this earlier, is not just about looking good, but it is about trusting yourself. And I think that when you continue to show up for yourself, that trust and that confidence will naturally build. And my last note to you, because this is really a bar, this is a good one. I wrote this down in my notes, so that means I really wanted to say this to you. Confidence is just self-respect in motion. That means you got to act on it, honey. You have to show yourself and prove to yourself, I value me, I love me, and this is how I do it. I wake up in the morning and I tell myself 3 great positive things today. I told myself I'm going to walk 10 minutes today. I did that. That's how you build that confidence. Do what you say you're going to do. That was a good one. Tea for the girls. And on that note, wow. That concludes another episode of the Pre-Game. I love y'all down. I don't see the comments, but my producer told me that y'all saying some really nice things. So please keep it up. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for spending your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you. Push and play. I'll catch you next time on the Pre-Game.